Dave the Diver has many different systems, from action-focused boss battles to dense restaurant management, and wrapping your head around everything just isn't easy. We've rounded up the most essential tips and tricks to get the most out of the game and make exploring the mysterious blue hole a little bit easier. Tip number 1 is going to be to simply focus on your upgrades first. When you first begin Dave the Diver, you might not be sure what exactly to do with all the gold that you're earning, but there are a lot of uses as the game progresses. At first, you're going to want to spend your gold on Dave's diving kit to make every dive as efficient as possible. There are 4 pieces total that you can upgrade: your carrying weight, the diving suit, the harpoon, and the oxygen tank. Try to focus on the carrying weight and oxygen tank first, which will allow you to spend more time underwater, meaning that you can collect more fish. It is worth noting that exceeding your max carrying weight, which is going to be very small at first, will limit your movement speed, so that'll make it harder to reach the surface without running out of oxygen. Tip number 2 is going to be explore wide first. The blue hole is much deeper than it is wide, as you'll find out within mere minutes of playing this game. But you can't explore too deep when you first begin the game, and thankfully, there are loads of fish above 50 meters, so you can get a lot of mileage out of your dives before you upgrade your suit and head into the blue hole depths. The fish are still pretty spread out though, so you won't find them all on the left side of the blue hole map where you begin your dive. You want to venture to the opposite side of the map in order to find new species that you might not have encountered yet. The next tip is going to be pick up everything. Outside of fish, there's a lot of junk in the shallow areas of the blue hole, like glass, rope, scrap metal, and dozens of other materials. The vast majority of these items are under half a kilogram, so you can load up your inventory pretty heavily without worrying about getting weighed down. But if you do so happen to exceed that weight limit after catching some fish, you can easily discard items while still underwater within the game's character menu. These seemingly random items that you're going to come across do a few things. First, you can sell them at Cobra's shop once you unlock Cobra's premium shop, and this is a good way to bolster your gold before a shift at Bancho's Sushi Bar, where you can use gold to purchase new decor for the interior and even recruit new employees to help you become more efficient. In addition, you can also use these items to craft new weapons and complete tasks in the Eco Watcher app, which gives some great rewards as you make progress. In addition to these items, you're going to find chests and boiling pots that are scattered all around the blue hole. Some of these chests will give you items, while others will drop weapons that will unlock blueprints with Duff. The boiling pots, on the other hand, are going to have ingredients in them that are special ingredients. These can be used to spice up your dishes at Bancho Sushi in order to make them worth more in the long run. The next tip is going to be watch out for aggressive species. There will be some fish with a red diamond above their head, and that means that they'll attack you if they notice you within their aggro range. You can still catch these aggressive species either by killing them or using non-lethal means such as the net gun or the hush dart, but they will continually chase you down until you either get far enough away from them, kill them, or catch them. Aggressive species can make pretty solid dishes, and you want to try to avoid getting hit by them, especially early on in game, because your oxygen tank serves as your health bar in Dave the Diver. So getting hit will deplete your oxygen and cut your dive short because you just won't have enough oxygen to stay down there for as long as you would have had you avoided some hits from these aggressive fish. Next up, we have keeping your dishes in mind. Now, what do I mean by that? Trying to track down ingredients you need for specific dishes is kind of tough in Dave the Diver due to the large number of both ingredients and recipes that you're going to get as you make progress. You can tailor your dive in a specific direction, like for example, catching multiple of the same species of fish is going to allow you to enhance the quality of your dish before you open up the sushi restaurant. Easily the most important thing to keep in mind while you're diving is the method that you're using to catch your fish. Dave the Diver includes a star rating mechanic for every fish that you're going to catch, and that refers to its quality. So here's how the star rating corresponds to the amount of meat that you're going to get per kill or per catch. 1 star means that you killed the fish, and you're gonna get less meat from a creature with a 1-star rating from killing it than you would by not killing it. 2 stars is going to mean that you damaged the fish, but you caught it before it died. You will get slightly more meat from this star rating, but it is still less than a 3-star. 3 stars means that you caught the fish without dealing any kind of damage to it, and in turn, you're going to get the max amount of meat possible from this star-rated fish. out of the gate, your standard harpoon is going to deal a bit of damage to the fish, so you're gonna get a lot of 2-star catches at first. As you make progress though, you'll unlock non-lethal ways to catch the fish, like a net gun, tranquilizing weapons, and even a hush dart, which will get you a 3-star rating for every fish that you catch as long as you do no damage to it. The higher the star rating, the more meat you get in return, so keep that in mind when you're thinking about your menu every night for Bancho Sushi. And that actually brings us to our next tips and tricks, restaurant tips and tricks. Every night you're gonna open up Bancho Sushi Bar, where you're gonna serve hungry customers dishes, and you're gonna earn money from it. Here's how to make the most out of each evening in Dave the Diver at Bancho Sushi Bar. First and foremost, you're gonna wanna focus on the taste over the price. There are 2 main metrics to every dish, and that is the taste and the price. It's important to earn gold from your sushi bar, but you're gonna wanna focus on getting the best taste out of your food as much as possible in the beginning. A higher, better taste score leads to more satisfied customers, but more importantly, that leads to a higher rating in the Cooksta app. Increasing your rating in the Cooksta app unlocks new recipes, more menu spaces, and even more room for employees as you progress in the game. It's the essential way to level up your sushi bar, so always keep that customer experience in mind to increase that Cooksta rating. Next up, we have Enhance Basic Dishes. As you upgrade your carrying capacity, you'll be able to carry loads of basic fish out with every dive. And even though they're basic fish, they aren't worthless after you kind of create a few fancy dishes out of them and put them on the menu. You can enhance the flavor of a dish by sacrificing a few fish and sometimes a few special ingredients like salt, soy sauce, or even mayonnaise. This is why it's important to focus on catching a large number of the same type of fish on your earlier dives. These enhanced dishes will cost more, which obviously generates you more revenue, and they taste better, so that provides more customer satisfaction. Now, these don't have to be the star dishes on your menu either. Basic dishes that you've enhanced can just help fill gaps on the menu to provide more variety for your patrons. And that actually brings us to the next tip. Fill out your menu. Before you open the sushi bar every night, you have to set up a menu. And it's important to not only set a compelling menu from the start by focusing on the price and the taste of each dish, but to also keep the menu stocked up with dishes throughout the entirety of the evening. At any point, you can open the menu while the sushi bar is open and swap dishes out that you might not have ingredients for anymore. This will pause the shift so you don't have to rush to add new items from your menu because the background is basically paused. And that brings us to our next tip. Hire staff to help you. Early on in the game, you're going to unlock the ability to hire staff for the sushi bar, and that first member of staff that you'll get is a server. Shortly after they join your team, you'll start seeing a lot more customers come into Bancho Sushi. You're going to want to keep ads out for new staff as often as you can, and try to have staff in both the kitchen and the dining area if possible. Splitting your staff up is key to running your sushi bar efficiently. If you have more employees in the dining area, but then none in the kitchen, for example, it's going to take Bancho longer to fill orders, which can make customers angry, and they can even walk out of the sushi bar if they don't get their order on time. So when you're hiring and assigning staff to different tasks, you're going to want to pay attention to the 4 staff stats that come with every employee that you will hire. The first stat is cooking, and the higher the stat, the faster the employee cooks the food. The next one is going to be serving, which the higher the serving stat, the faster the employee serves the food. The next stat is called procure, and as you progress in the game, you're going to unlock procurement assignments or dispatch assignments that send staff out to gather special ingredients like the ones I mentioned earlier: salt, soy sauce, mayonnaise. And that procure stat determines how successful that employee will be on these trips and how many special ingredients they will bring back per trip. And lastly, we have appeal. The higher the appeal stat, the more satisfaction that a customer will have by being served by that employee, which will raise the tip amount and even prompt them to leave a better review for you on the Cooksta app. And those are just a few tips and tricks to get you started in your adventures in Dave the Diver. For more, make sure to head over to IGN's Growing Dave the Diver wiki, and of course, for everything video games, stick with IGN.